I'm adding this in at the start of the vlog, but I'm recording it at the end of the day because I just remembered it. But I'm streaming probably around when this vlog's going live, and I'm doing a massive stream. So tomorrow I'm going to be recording 2 videos, and I'll take my time and I'll have some coffees and some breaks throughout, but it's probably going to be a 6-7 hour stream. So why don't you jump on over? I'll put the link in the description of my Twitch channel. Come join me. I'll be doing a YouTuber superhero thing and the redrawing your kids art thing to make up for the failure of a stream that was last week. Okay, on to today's vlog. We're leaping straight into filming today's video. I am going to attempt to create an image out of 3 million dots. Quite literally 3 million dots. I'm going to try and see how many dots this thing makes in 60 seconds, and then multiply that, and I guess we'll get close enough to 3 million. I have a feeling that I'm in for a nasty surprise. I have a feeling that drawing 3 million dots may take a lot longer than I expect. Let's see how it goes. Ladies and gentlemen, I am an optimist. Basically what that means is I like to set myself tasks that I imagine are achievable and are near impossible, at least within the time frame that I assign myself those tasks, and then crumple under the weight and pressure of failing miserably, but try and feel good about it. I think that's what it says in the dictionary. Today I'm going to attempt to draw 3 million dots for you because I am celebrating...
Oh, hello in there. Who's this? Who's this on my screen? It looks like it's PJ! Hi, PJ!
PJ is getting a nice low angle of me counting all of these dots. This is a very important and scientific process. I have officially and scientifically determined that the Cutalola dot pen creates 1,171 dots per minute. 1, 2, 3, divided by 1,171. 2,561 minutes. 2,561.9. That's okay, so divided by 60 again. It's 42 hours. That's 42 hours, 0.7 minutes. Okay, so I got myself in a tricky situation. Turns out to draw 3 million dots with this pen, it would take 42.7 hours. I don't have 42.7 hours. But I have to draw 3 million dots. But I don't have to hand draw them. I'm just gonna title the video Millions of Dots. I did open up the video by saying I'm gonna hand draw everyone a dot. But, there's no but. I'm cheating. I have to cheat. I can't do this for 42.7 hours. You would miss out on 6 other pieces of content at least. So I'm gonna cheat. You'll have to forgive me, but I'm gonna make a great picture with my cheat. PJ said I should have bought 2 pens, and then I thought, ugh, I should have bought like 4. The problem is, even though that would let me draw lots of pens at once at that rate of drawing dots, first of all, I have to wait for another 2 weeks for it to arrive in the mail because it was mailed from China, and second, this thing cost me about 100 Australian dollars because it was about 40 US and then postage, which was more expensive than it should have been. So it's way too expensive to do that way, and it's going to add another 2 weeks to the production schedule, which doesn't make any sense. So,
the commander was reading again, with how busy Kip knew he was. It was strange. Kip sidled over to see if he could see the book.
Noted the box's broken side and opened it gingerly. When nothing happened, he examined the back of the top card minutely.
Okay, so I've been at that for, well, the day, and it's the end of the day, and I've completed a total of about 278,832 dots. Obviously that doesn't even come near what I had tried to do, and hasn't come near finishing the piece yet, which I'm doing in parts. I am going to cheat because there's no way I can afford the time to do this just just with the pen. Don't even know if it'll have enough ink to do it. However, what I will do is schedule one more day and do 2 full days to do an epic piece and finish it off, even though I will sort of photocopy some bits and cheat. That way, I'd still want to make it as epic and cool as possible, and it is looking really cool so far. Anyways, I'm going to wrap up and focus this vlog on the questions that you guys left 2 vlogs ago on the day that I ticked over 3 million subscribers, which is what this piece is celebrating, even though I'm cheating a little bit. Speedscape says, what was your favorite video, most enjoyable to make so far? That's a really good question. I gotta say, I loved doing the Hulk 3D painting. It was just so different to what I do often. I really liked the Sexy Benjamin animated movie. It's hard to answer because I think the answer is usually 1 or 2 of the videos I've done in the last 1 or 2 months. And I think that's a good sign because it means I'm always pushing myself to do something really new and adventurous, and that is what I find most fun. I didn't really answer your question, but I think it's because I can't really answer your question, sorry. Cantrona says, what's PJ think of the audiobooks? Is he listening to them at all? Hey PJ,
Yeah.
what do you think of the audiobooks? Do you listen to them at all?
No, I don't really have much of a choice.
I do listen to them loudly. I don't think he soaks them in though. Do you just try and tune it out?
I do.
He does. So he doesn't think much of them. But you listen to your own audiobooks, PJ?
Yes.
Yes, he does. As an extension of that, Scribbly Quill says, what are the audiobooks you're listening to recently called? They sound really interesting. I'd like to give them a listen. I've been listening to them for months, sort of broken up between big projects. It's the Lightbringer series. I'm up to book 3. I'm towards the end of book 3, and there's one more book 4, before it hits a cliffhanger and keeps, like, there's more to come, but they're amazing. It's one of my favorite fantasy series so far. I can highly recommend it. It's by Brent Weeks. Rick Fravor says, how did you get your first job? How long did it take after school for you to get it? It's a tricky question to answer because I haven't really had a job. The only real job I ever had was when I worked at Target for a year when I was 17, and I hated that, and that taught me that I really hate real jobs. So I've always just sort of tried to make it working for myself, and a lot of that was not making much money at all, but you know, it worked in the end, which is lucky. And further to that, CookieBot says, what did you study in university and what occupation did you use to sustain yourself once you got out of school? I didn't study after I finished high school, and I didn't have a job. I had, in the years before graduating high school, learnt to animate and make games to the point where by the time I graduated, I knew how to get some sponsorships and put ads in games and stuff like that. So it wasn't much money, but I thought, you know what, I'm making a little bit of money doing this. Why stop doing that or hinder the capacity that I could learn to do that better at by going to learn how to do it? It didn't make sense to me. I just thought, why not just do it and learn by doing it? So I did that for a few years. I got a mortgage, got a crappy car. Wasn't a great living, but it was a living. Like, it was enough to keep me going, and it led to what I'm doing now. So I just sort of refused to formally study or get a job, but that's just because I really struggle in those really formal, rigid learning and work environments. I prefer to be self-motivated and self-taught. Here's a quick cue for PJ. Hey PJ, come around here. PJ, what are the best and worst things so far about working with Jazza? Be honest.
The best thing is it's kind of, I get to learn from someone who's doing the thing that I want to do.
Mm-hmm.
Worst thing? IGTV.
PJ hates vertical video. I can't blame him. Mackie D, really interesting question, says, can you talk about your/PJ's editing and how this has changed from your earlier videos? I've noticed that there is more time spent on showcasing your personality versus showcasing a whole time-lapse or every detail of the piece. That's a really good question. The main way editing has changed is to focus on entertainment first and foremost. And sometimes that fluctuates as I'm learning what works and what doesn't. I have noticed recently that I've spent more time talking and not enough time showing off the art process in some videos, and so I'm bringing that back. And you may notice in some recent videos, and especially in upcoming videos, that while I do joke around and stuff, I try and shave it off and just keep it really only the stuff that needs to be there or is genuinely funny or entertaining, but I try and get to the art quickly, have the process fun and entertaining to watch, but also make more of the time lapses and the show off moments. So I guess it's a learning process, but my first priority is to make something that's really fun to watch. It's just a learning process constantly, and it's constantly evolving, and sometimes I'll do more of one thing than I should or less of one thing than I should, but it's always working towards entertaining you. Linda Gale Lamb says, do you plan to do any more 3D pen or polymer glaze sculpting with all the supplies you have left? Absolutely. I have like a huge amount of different art supplies that I've collected, and I mean, same with the 3D print painting stuff. I've got a bunch of sort of model breaking apart, sculpting and painting things for miniatures. I'm just sort of building up art assets over time, and eventually I'll get random ideas or an ambitious idea in one or two different pockets or genres or mediums or whatever, but it's meant to basically always be there to come to as I go to that from my main staple content, which is traditional and digital art. Joshua Moorman says, can we still sign up for the Wall of Honor, or has the ship already sailed? Unfortunately, the ship has already sailed, and I'm still trying to get to delivering those last rewards. As you can tell, time is really difficult to come by. I'm squeezing in these questions today too, because I have a meeting to get to after. So I'm doing the best that I can, and I have the final rewards for the custom art perks like half done, and I'll do the other half after VidCon, and then I will get to the Wall of Honor. But unfortunately, I just can't let more people sign up to it because I'm having enough trouble to get through everything I'm 100% committed to already. XV says, what made you want to start this vlog channel? Also, hi Jazza, I've been a fan of yours for a couple of months before you started this channel. Oh, thank you. What made me want to start this was this. I wanted a way to directly and often interact with you guys, and the more I worked on quality of content and ramping up my ambitions on my main channel, the more I realized that update videos and community-based videos were a detriment to the progress of that channel. So I thought I'd separate them off and have the real core entertainment stuff on the main channel, but have a separate place where the people who are really interested in that interactivity and the behind the scenes and updates and learning about how all this works could just tune in every day or two, and I have a direct outlet to share what I'm going through with you guys, to see what you guys are interested in or love seeing or want to see more of. Arctica says, how many subscribers do you aspire to achieve? Also, congratulations on 3 mil. That's a really interesting question, because on the one hand, there's a goal-driven part of me, and there's part of me that always finds the gamification of what I'm doing really exhilarating. So always stepping up to the next level, and that part of me has big goals. I want to hit this or that number. I'm always looking at numbers every day, concurrent subscribers, concurrent video views and all that stuff. But the other part of me is so connected to the people in what I do, and is still that 12-year-old me who discovered art, that is so in love with the process and sharing it with other people and being a part of other people's creative process or journey, that I'm aware that those numbers are just a vanity and also going to be irrelevant one day. So it's a tricky answer. As far as how many subscribers I aspire to achieve, I don't know, like in the short to medium term, it's a driving goal that keeps me moving and keeps it fun. And I'd like to hit 10 million before I'm irrelevant. But at the same time, I'd be happy if my career wound down now, even if I got to sustain the kind of community that I have and got to keep doing what I love every day. It's less about the numbers, more about the fact that I'm so lucky to be doing what I'm doing, and you guys are a part of it and actually paying attention. That makes me feel so lucky. So it's a tricky question, because on the one hand, there's the douchey answer. That is a part of the reality and probably a part of how I was able to get to 3 million and hopefully more. But at the same time, there's the other part, which is the reality of, you know what, we're all people, and sometimes cool things happen like that, but also the most important things are the kids at home who are inspired to draw, or whose self-esteem is growing because they're discovering something new, or whose bad day was turned into a good day because of some content they found and a smile they had. Like, it sounds really corny, but that's a bigger, more important thing to me, which kind of negates the goals in the end. But the goals are always there because it's fun. And last but not least, Somber Despair says, what is the meaning of life? The answer to that is death. We are all going to die and there's no stopping it, which renders everything meaningless. I'm an optimistic nihilist. Part of me is always sort of terrified of the end in a weird way. This is getting really dark, but I guess the point I'm trying to make is my meaning in life is living, is the fact that I'm here right now and I'm experiencing all this. I'm sharing this stuff with you guys, with my family, with friends I'm making. And that's meaningful to me. And what's most meaningful to me is what I can leave behind for other people to enjoy, whether it be my family or people like yourselves, art communities, or just people who love what I love. If I can be a part of that for them, and then also just make, you know, people's lives a little happier and my family a little happier, then that's what means. That's what means the most to me. Thank you for staying with me through that very deep and dark dive into existence. I hope you enjoyed today's very random, somewhat unsuccessful endeavors. I'm gonna stick at it and reschedule and make sure I can finish some dots for you. But otherwise, that's it for today's vlog. And thank you for 3 million. And I'll see you guys later.